Okay, welcome everybody. Thank you, Sean. Thank you, Michelle, for meeting today on a Saturday for our first board meeting of 2021, the great reveal. And so, because we are a different business, guys, we talked about this and we had a great conversation. Sean, you brought up some fantastic points. Michelle, you added a lot of value to how we could begin to talk to everyone. And I just want to kind of let them know what they're about to see, because this is something like they've never seen before. Okay. So, ladies and gentlemen of IoT Basics, welcome. Thank you for taking time out to watch this. We are recording this for your benefit because we have been telling you guys for a little bit of time that we are a business in business with you. We want you to understand that we conduct business. Okay. And the best way for you all to get the most accurate information is to actually kind of be like looking over our shoulder in our board meetings and getting that information straight from the three of us. So that's what you're going to see. That's kind of what you can expect moving forward in 2020. And we're going to just attack some issues that we have on the table today, and we're going to go through them one at a time. Sean is actually going to lead us today. We're going to kick off our conversation with Sean because at the end of the day, he's privileged to a couple of things that he's been working on that Michelle and I are kind of not read into. So you guys are going to get read into these things exactly at the same time that we are. So I hope you guys enjoy this. I hope that this will become something that you look forward to. And Sean Starr, if you would be so kind, sir.
Chris, I'm so glad to be able to talk to everybody. And I think you're doing the same mistakes I keep making. I keep saying 2020 when it's now 2021. This years are going by so quick, I can't even believe it. Well, on this great reveal, I think it was very important for us today to really talk to everybody, the country developers, city developers. I think, though, before I start getting into some of the announcements, Chris and Michelle, I think let's talk about what people should expect right away, because there's been a lot of concern. Because here's the truth. You know what, everybody? We have started out because we had IoT Basics since partnered in the last 90 days with Prime Strategies to make up with a previous partner that wasn't getting things done. And then we jumped into place without going through the details to create IoT Basics as the delivery arm to make up for that company that didn't do what it said it would do. Now, it had a few problems that it caused for us. It caused our company, Prime Strategies, which IoT Basics is part of, it's the delivery arm for Prime Strategies. It causes because that business wasn't in place. And since these are Fortune 100, Fortune 500 companies on a global basis, they have to be attached to a company to legally pay out. The reason that has to be something of importance so you understand something is there's a money laundering rules when it comes to corporations and how money can be distributed. So when Prime Strategy started to try to make payouts, they did try to start making good on those payouts. And it was through several sources. At the time, it was through PayPal or other sources trying to do that. Now, that is really kind of a clunky way to do it, because here's an understanding you need to understand. Prime Strategies is not a company that creates sales forces. They typically partner with businesses so that they create those situations for payout. They write a check, we make the payments, and it goes. Now, here is the caveat that's really a blessing that we all need to know. Because of all of us, all of you, all of us together, we did so much business in our first 30 days of business that they overwhelmingly could see the professionalism in each and every one of you and all of us as a team. Because of that, Prime Strategies, Keith Buck, and these Fortune 100 companies have decided to create IoT Basics and allow all of us to still have this opportunity that we wouldn't have had otherwise. And so I'm very excited about that. Let's talk about the polarities of what that caused, though. All of us have been through so many companies and trying to take care of our families. We're all going through COVID, and there's people getting sick and families in hospitals and loss of jobs and trying to pay our rent. And we've been through companies, and a lot of us came from a network marketing or affiliate or direct marketing companies. And when you don't get enough information to understand what's going on, we all, including ourselves, can go to the worst common denominator going, oh my God, this is fake, this is not real, this is whatever it could be. And it's a normal way to feel that way for all of us to feel this way. Because I can know that I felt that way myself. And I want to know you to know, when I'm talking to you, that this is important, that you realize that this is a team of all of us together. So the results of that, though, where shipments were delayed because of COVID and global crises and issues within the turmoil trying to create IoT Basics, which is the delivery arm for what we're doing now. And it slowed, literally stopped payments because we had to go create a payment system. We were very fortunate to go back in with an absolutely wonderful banking company with Ulala and to get those taken care of. Those are now taken care of now. So this week you're going to start seeing a few things. So now that I got that homework on the back end up, let's talk about all the things that are going to come starting this week so that this doesn't feel bad. First, I want to make sure that every single person understands every commission that was due from October from you building your business, November and December, will be paid out in its entirety. That even includes those of you that had chargebacks because people, just like I just described a few minutes ago, were concerned or perhaps didn't believe we were real or whatever the issue might be. Maybe they needed to do something different. It really doesn't matter because we're here for you, here for all of us, so that this opportunity is ours. So to make sure, Prime Strategies is going to be paying out 100% of the commissions on the 15th of each month. So those of you that have commissions, as an example, in October that were whatever they were supposed to be when we were in our prime trying to get this paid out, you'll be receiving 100% of your commissions.
That's
so if you're
phenomenal,
hearing otherwise,
Sean.
it's incredible. And you're going to start seeing that's going to come out on the 15th. It's going to come out of each month. People deserve to get paid for the commissions. Now, some of the things that have caused people to feel insecure about that, you're going to be able to go to IoT Basics website, included with the Prime Strategies websites that are all encompassed in one, to go to your back office to get all of these products and services. And you're going to be able to readily go get those. Hold on real quick. You're going to be able to readily go get those so that you and your family can have access to every part of our business. Now, here's something that you guys really should probably pay attention to. We were putting out, let me go backwards maybe a little bit so I'm actually clear. In the past, we had to worry about product delivery and services. In other words, we had to send out the hubs and then 48 hours, then you'd start getting paid. Well, we didn't get that done because of the things I just described earlier. Well, what we're doing now is we're going to still send out hubs, Chris and Michelle, I have all of you. But what we're going to start doing, what Prime Strategies is doing for us now, is all of our products are going to be virtual, which means when you purchase your hub, it'll be in real time and commissions will be paid. Hubs will still go out because we still need to reduce the cost of the network. So, but you're not going to have to worry about that because you're going to be able in real time to go to your back office now. You're going to see the tokens that are going into your office. You'll be able to cash those out. And you'll be able to get your paychecks for your commissions due on the 15th and know that they're coming in. There is a caveat, though.
Yeah, go ahead. You mean that all of us who have been with IoT Basics and have been waiting for these hubs, right? For whatever reason, some were delivered, some were not delivered, whatever. You mean we don't have to wait for that anymore? We just have to touch the button on the screen and we start getting paid.
Yeah, that's exactly correct, Chris. But also what it means is the hubs are still getting shipped. So when they do come, so people don't have to wait for the delivery. When they do come, then they just plug it in and go through that process. But what that's going to do for Prime Strategies is lower the network costs, just like we said. So now people don't have to wait on their commissions. It didn't get delivered. This didn't happen. You guys are going to be able to see your commissions in real time in your back office, one back office for everybody. You go to iotbasics.io, you click on members area, go to your back office, put in your information. You're going to start seeing all of this information in real time that you get a handle. Now, there is a caveat, Chris and Michelle and everybody, that you need to pay attention to. This next couple of weeks, all of these processes are going to be in place, but it's going to be up to you to get with your city developers, your country developers. Make sure that that the spreadsheets we were filling out, to put in those sales, that we can verify those so that the IT, the real-time IT, can be verified. So moving forward, we never have this problem again, and that you're paid 100% of your commissions out. So to help us, to help each other, let's get with your city and country developers and make sure that those spreadsheets that we had to start this out with, which is clunky, are taken care of. Now, the fun part is, when this is just verified and move forward, we're all electronic. The city developer contracts, country developer contracts will be in real time in your back office. You'll be able to purchase those. You'll be able to see those. Now, I want to remember back when people really need to understand something. A city developer license means that you're going to get a 25% of profit revenue of whatever happens in the city that you're about. That is what's so absolutely amazing about what's coming on. Okay. When you bring in, purchase your hub, and you have 10 more of your friends or people, or you purchase 10 hubs to get out to your city, whether it's churches or schools. And by the way, we have some great announcements about that too. And however you're getting those hubs out to qualify for your city, you're going to love it. But now it's in real time. Now you're getting paid. But we want to just make sure that all of this is real time, getting paid and moving forward. Now I got to throw something in, Chris, if you don't mind. Prime Strategies is now working with the governments. In fact, they're working with 4 governments to create some very interesting things. I think, Chris, I'm going to let you talk about that. But let's talk about what that's going to do for city developer licenses for additional revenue. So guys, not only get to 20.
I don't know if they can stand it though, because Sean, one of the biggest things that Michelle and you and I have dealt with so far has been, when our people, right, when our business people realized that they were really going to be building a city, they got a little bit nervous. And I know I've answered this question a million times, and I know you guys probably have too. How are we going to build a city? We thought we were just, going to get a device and turn it on and maybe talk to a couple people, and they were going to turn on a few devices. And my answer has been always, and it's probably the same answer you guys give, is we're going to help you do that. We're going to help you do that. Yeah. But now we can kind of give them, which is what you're about to do, is talk about how we're going to do the first part of helping them. And I know that Michelle is busting at the seams on this one, because she's like, oh my God, this is going to answer so many customer service questions. So Sean, go ahead and tell them, but don't give them too much now.
I'm going to broad stroke it and let you and Michelle come up with the difference. How about that? So let's review some of this stuff.
Okay.
What's going to happen is we are granting every college in the United States a grant to make sure that they can put the sensors and IoT devices in every single college in the United States of America. For you that have cities in the United States, as an example, this is a gold mine to help you, because you get to now receive 100% of your 25% of that revenue that's being created. So Prime Strategies is granting the grants, creating that network, and helping you to do that, which means we need a city developer in every city and town in the world, because now you get to share in the revenue that Prime Strategies has created grants to put these devices in every college. So let's go back over that. Now you get a 25% revenue on everything that we help you create. You're getting a 25% revenue on the city in general anyway. You're getting 10% of all of your friends' cities. This is amazing. Okay, and don't forget, you're also receiving coins in the form of TRC in your back wallet every single day that you can choose to save, keep, grow in value, all of these fun things that are coming. They're all revenues to you. Now let's talk about what else this means.
Wait.
What?
We got something to say, and I have a feeling I know what Chris is going to say.
Tell me. Sorry, I just run off at the mouth.
Yeah,
I'm so sorry.
I knew what he was doing, because we need to make sure that we announce this or share something.
Go ahead.
The board,
I'll
the
let-
board would like the board would
You
like
need
the
a ding,
mic,
ding, ding,
please.
ding.
I'm sorry.
We need a
I
bell
get
so
so
that we can
dim
ring the
excited. I just run off like a
Hey, Sean,
like
Sean,
know,
a
you were
young
so
schoolboy. I know
what you
that's
just
true.
said, what you just said is amazing. Not only is it amazing, not only is it brand new information to everybody, not only have we been working on this, for a long time, what feels like forever, but
Yeah.
here's the real important thing is I can hear everyone watching over our shoulders right now on this board meeting. I can hear every question they're coming out with, and they're like, well, how is that such a big deal? 25% of just, a device, a gateway, and a couple devices. Because here's what I know, Sean. One thing that we have done really well, Michelle, yourself, myself, and all of our country developers and city developers have done really, really well is keep everybody focused on one thing. And that one thing was getting the devices in the cities and getting those cities lit, right? You with me?
Exactly.
But
Yes.
Exactly.
but now, guys, because we are a business, and this is what really excites me, and I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, Sean, but I really do want to convey this excitement because this is what really excites me about our business, right? This is our business. And so because of circumstances in the world changing, because of relationships with Prime and IoT Basics changing, because of our business growth changing, we now have something that is going to deliver faster to our groups of people. And you touched on that.
Well, it's all electronic. It's all electronic.
Let me tell them. Look, guys, you guys don't even know. You guys don't even know. Look, there is a law coming out in the States, okay? And so what Sean said makes real good sense to Michelle and Sean and I, because we know the backstory, but it doesn't maybe make sense to you. Let me give you 2 seconds of backstory. Backstory is many of the states in the United States are they're enacting a new law. That new law is called
No, you can't say it. You can't say it.
I can't
you can't say it. We'll be in trouble.
Right. So the law is
next week.
The law is coming, and you guys don't know that, but you do because you're sitting in on this board meeting. See the excitement. See why I said this is so great to be in a business. Okay, so what we have done at IoT Basics, and we're powered by Prime. Everything Prime, guys. We're powered by everything Prime. So watch this. Because of this new law that's coming, we're getting ahead of it. We're pulling a qualified, approved device. That's all I can say. Okay.
You might be able to say the F word.
I'll let you say
that. Maybe? Censor?
Okay.
I will give them that. Because we're not telling them anything except for the fact that we are approved.
Right. So if you're a city developer right now, if you hold a CDL license right now, and that CDL license has a university, a college, what do you call it? Oh God, I've drawn a complete blank. Help me out, guys. Like an MIT situation. Anything that is community driven, that is considered higher education, okay? Not schools, not high schools and elementary schools yet. It has to be higher education, okay? It has to be higher education. You are going to benefit because these schools are going to be putting something in place that we will be able to announce next week. I promise. Next week, you're going to be looking for a press release, guys. There's going to be a press release.
All right, Sean, go
ahead. I'm sorry,
Chris,
I couldn't help
That's
it.
okay. Now, Chris, the great side about that is that adds hubs to their city developer license. Is that not wonderful or what?
Yes.
Yeah, you got to remember when you sign for city.
All of it.
It is.
Hey,
now,
one more thing. I forgot to tell them the best part. And I know Michelle's sitting over there going, why didn't he tell them this? Guess what? There is a famous name and a famous face
you can't
that
tell
is going to be doing partnering with you as a city developer. As a city developer, they're going to be partnering with you, doing the heavy lifting. So now all of you guys have been asking the question, how are we going to benefit? How are we going to build our city? Guess what? We just told you that you're going to have someone that is not only well-versed, not only well-known, not only has a famous name, not only has done great, huge things, okay? They're going to be your partner in your city, in your schools, and you're going to directly benefit. Okay, I'm going to stop now.
Yeah, because you were just making me a little bit nervous there for a second. I thought I was going to have to get
you gotta leave a little out, otherwise the rest of the board from Prime Strategies are going to come down on you, and then we're going to be attending your funeral. And we can't do that, Chris. We need you to be here to help us out a little bit.
You know, I don't look good in orange either, so I can't tell too much.
So guys, let's go over all of this stuff. Let me add a little bit more to that.
Please.
Along with that caveat on the grants that go to these colleges and MITs, think about the tens of thousands of students. So part of them getting the grants is they're going to have to deliver the Prime Chat for communications between the teachers and the students, because they're creating a revenue for the schools. That revenue for the schools, along with you, is how they get to start having the new car washes or the cookie bake sale or whatever they were doing to put back stuff in to support the students. So it's all going back. It's crazy. Now, guys, I want to make sure everybody understands that. We got 25% on the city developers. The country developers, of course, they get to share in all of this. But the city developers get 25%, the 10%. They're now going to get a name brand person from Prime Strategies, IoT Basics, helping them to bring in that additional revenue for the cities across the globe. There's not a college almost in every place on planet Earth in the United States. This is huge for helping your income. All of our products and services are now going to be delivered virtually. Yes, you'll still be getting hubs to plug in, but it's not going to be so important when you can go real time in your back office, see that you're getting commissions, and you enact your UOL wallet. You are going to be getting your payments on the 15th without question every single time. This is what Prime is putting out to us. Now, guys, with all the stuff that we've been going through, it's very difficult to go, yeah, I'll see it to believe it. Well, that's okay. Prime deserves that, because we have been, all of us, going through this formation of how to make this right for everybody. So why Prime Strategies is paying out every commission that was due, regardless if there was returns. Remember that. Now, I want you to remember this too. All of these products and services, all 200, there are other people that are buying boxes and started their own businesses because they see the value of this trillion-dollar industry to start their own companies. They might have their own country licenses and city developer licenses. They don't have a $2 billion Prime Gate Global Fund to do it. They don't have the other stuff I'm fixing to announce with you. They are not all virtual 100%. They do not have the banking and funding and financing to do that we're doing. We have now taken this 90 days to put all of this in place with the Prime Strategies group of companies that Keith Buck is heading out with us as a team to deliver the mesh network to the world. And now we're making sure that you don't have any late checks anymore. We're partnering with a great banking system with Oola. We're going to be adding all kinds of fantastic things for all of us. But please remember, unless you're getting this direct from IoT Basics, because we are now the sole only distribution point for all of these products and services, where you're included in these products and services without having to pay for them. So if you use one of these other services and choose another company because maybe you like their personality, or maybe their website's better currently, or whatever reason in your mind, you can still get those products and services through those companies. But each product and service you will have to pay for. Where at IoT Basics with Prime Strategies, you get it included, including the revenue from them. You do not get those with any other service out there. So be careful about what you're spending your time on. You don't get paid from
them either.
Nope. And so guess what? You now are going to see where everything is becoming factual, because Prime Strategies has been putting this together. We've been working very hard to get this done. We are all in the same boat.
And it's ahead of schedule, Sean.
Yes, it's ahead of schedule. But
6
the
months.
biggest problem, it is, but the biggest issue is that it's hard for people to believe, Chris and Michelle, because we've gone through 90 days of where they haven't received their commissions and deliveries. And this is stuff that in the background we couldn't say why we're trying to get this done so that we could make this a valuable thing. Listen, let me tell you guys something. There are 4 countries, new one. There are 4 countries that Prime Strategies and IoT Basics have already partnered with. That will be a revenue share that's going to help make this a better business for you. And I can't say any more than that because Chris will shoot me so will Prime, but pay attention to what's coming next week because some of you guys might already be a country developer in those countries where we already partnered with. Guys, this is global. You're going to love it. You got to be careful because the stuff coming is going to be amazing. But what this means is Prime Strategies and all of these companies, those services that come again to you, all come inclusive with your Prime membership that you have because you chose to get a license that Prime is financing for you so that you could receive these revenues. And as long as you participate and keep helping us, you can get these for a long time and changing your family's life. We're
So,
finally
Sean,
actually partnering.
Sean, so what you're telling
Yeah.
me and what you're telling everybody that's watching our board meeting right now, what you're telling me is that the big difference between us and everybody else is everything is
Yes.
all inclusive here and it's
Yes.
not over there. But worse, if I heard you correctly, and please correct me if I'm wrong, because you know I like to give out the right information. You know I don't want to
Okay.
answer those questions.
Okay.
But did I hear you also say, or maybe not in these exact words, it was implied, but they are actually having to get their devices and stuff through us because it works on our system. Is that correct?
Yeah, we have companies actually buying. There's actually major corporations buying their hubs. There are major names that everybody knows out there. I can't say for legal reasons, but there are a lot of those major companies that people are buying their stuff from, which they don't realize they're really just buying those hubs from us. But unless you go through the Prime network and they're marking them up, some people are buying it from us and charging twice. I can't believe it. I wish them luck. Yeah. But every one of those products and services that we're going to be coming out with all 200 as we're delivering all of these great things, these announcements coming out, can only happen and are inclusive with a Prime Strategies IoT Basics city developer license or purchase through the Prime IoT network. If you buy it through any other network, you can still get those products and services from Primes from those developers that are doing their own business. But you're going to pay for each one of those services, and there will be no revenue coming from them, from Prime, from us. So those other companies, for example, can get the Prime Chat TV and other things that are coming as an example, but they're going to have to pay for those, where they're getting inclusive for us here and a revenue generator. Guys, think about you city developers as one example. And you have a college that now has a grant, and we are paying for all of their sensors. We are paying for their hubs. We are paying for that. And you as a city developer get to have that additional revenue every single month. But as part of that revenue, tens of thousands of their students will be on the Prime network to communicate with their teachers and between themselves, generating a daily revenue for you that you get paid on. That only comes from Prime Strategies IoT networks. You cannot get that from any other provider. So
Sean,
when you start thinking about that, it's amazing.
Let me pause you right there. Let me pause you right there because you left one little piece out. But here, watch this. Okay, so everybody on the other side of the screen, sitting around this board table right now, they're asking, well, why would the kids at the college, why would they want to use Prime's chat network? Why would they want to do that? Well, here, let me tell you why. Because they're going to get paid, number one, to do it, okay, which you insinuated. You kind of broad stroke that one. But they're going to have to use it to communicate with what? Their college and their professors. But there's a third reason. There's a third reason, and it's this right here. Are you ready? Because our service is going to allow them to participate in healthcare communication okay?
Mhm.
Right.
Real-time
Yes.
healthcare communication so that these kids can talk to a doctor, so they can talk to a therapist, so they can make sure if they need to quarantine. It is amazing. It's not an option, okay? But
Mm-mm.
even if it was an option, Sean, do you know a kid on the planet that wouldn't want to get paid to text and talk?
No,
Oh
or
no.
watch TV.
Mm-mm.
But there's
No.
actually a fourth caveat that's interesting so people
Tell
know.
me, tell me.
Why would the colleges want to do this? Well, it's real simple. Because they get paid because they have hubs that we gave them. And now they're
Yeah.
going to have a revenue to start giving those revenues back to the students at the school, whether it's for
Mhm.
sports or new books or new computers, whatever. That's what this is designed to do. So when you start thinking about all the stuff coming, guys, we don't have enough hours in today to explain about what's coming.
No.
So let's go back on something before I go ahead and let you take over the call, Chris. Really, what's important to understand for everybody. Let me just go back over one little piece that's really important.
I keep leaning into you, Sean. Do you see me leaning into you? I keep getting
It
closer.
is because I'm on the edge of my seat too, and it doesn't look like it. I just got my little blue suit on. I got my blue finger where I broke it. So, but anyway, here's the point that we got to reiterate.
Right.
Things are changing on the IoT Basics websites with Prime. Starting this week, you'll see these differences. We need all of you to start making sure with your city, country developers that your spreadsheets are correct so we can verify what's in the system and make sure that all of the commissions due to you are paid 100%. Let's go back over that. Starting from the very first month where you had commissions and perhaps people got mad, perhaps they quit, perhaps some of your team were upset and they got a refund. We're still going to give you 100% of your commissions. Prime Strategies and IoT Basics, which is an IoT company that is not owned by myself, Chris, or Michelle. We are here to help. IoT is here. We're here to help IoT Basics and Prime Strategies to make sure that the minutia of the accumulation and all of it is getting taken care of correctly. That is our only function. The truth is, all of this is going to be electronic in real time so that everybody has the exact same advantage. Doesn't matter what team you may have came in on or what person enrolled you. You still will go to the same websites, have the same advantage, same pay schedules, same everything that Chris, Michelle, and myself as an example get. There's nothing different. We are also country and city developers. We get paid the exact same way you do. But with this trillion-dollar industry backed by the only Fortune 100 or 500 companies that actually put this network in and spent the 20+ billion last 20 years doing it, like we keep telling you. We're the only ones that are going to deliver that. So remember again, so you don't forget, all of your commissions due will start being paid out regardless of what's happened in the past. And that is Prime Strategies' way of making sure that you understand and that they understand that you are of value. And we apologize. Prime Products apologizes that you had to go through that. But with all of these products and services that are finally coming into one place, being in real time, which means this changes the whole ballgame. But for you guys, none of us are going to believe it at this point until you see the checks coming this week and you see the changes. So I feel the same way, I understand. So watch for the changes. Please work with us to get those things taken care of. Let's get this fully automated. Because what's also going to start back up is your country and city developer licenses on the automation in your back office. Okay, that is for you. We had to stop to get all of these things in place. Now, Prime Strategies is honoring us with our commissions due. So please help us to get your KYCs. If they're not coming in, let's get them fixed. We want you 100% paid. We want to get through this in a short period of time to make sure that everybody is of value. Some of you may not believe it. That's okay. You will when all your friends are starting to get paid and we get you too. Then give us the chance as a team. Let's go back and create these revenues that we intended to do in the first place. Let's not get sidetracked with what's in the world today. Because look, I turn on the TV. It doesn't matter if you're a liberal, Republican, independent, Democrat. The world, not just US, the world is going through some major changes. You guys are now in a virtually delivered product or service that you can operate from anywhere in the world and now can expect to get paid in a timely basis so that we can have an income that makes a difference and create those residual incomes for a lifetime because you guys took the opportunity to be here. So we're going to take the opportunity of Prime Strategies to make sure that you get paid, but we need your help to do that. So there's more announcements coming. I'm going to go ahead and turn the call back over to you, Chris, but I don't think I did my very best today. It feels like I'm stuttering, but I want to make sure that we got that out, that people know that only through Prime IoT Basics will these products and services. It doesn't matter if they're buying these devices from Prime IoT Basics to create their own company. All of these guarantees, products and services, and what we're talking about will only be through IoT Basics and Prime Strategies, which is the same. They're owned by the same people. Right. Anyway, Chris, why don't you take over? And I apologize. I rambled on like a schoolboy. Anyway, take it over. And
Sean, you know what? You know what I love about the dynamics that you, Michelle, and I have is that we do work well together. We're probably one of the best well-oiled machines that I've ever seen in my history in business. And you know, you said, I love that boardroom. You've got wallpaper you've got up. And I said, well, I did that because I want to convey the seriousness, right? I want to convey the seriousness about this. We're excited. We've cut one another off and we've interjected. But what we want you guys to understand is that, you know, a lot of this stuff, a lot of our silence, because we've heard you guys could tell us more. Well, we can't. Number one, we can't. Number two, at the end of the day, we can't be in 15 places at once. We've tried, believe me, we've tried, but it didn't work out well. You know, Sean broke his finger and his mom needed to go to the hospital and all these other things. And you know, he tried to do it, but it just didn't work. It didn't work out, did it, Sean?
Yeah,
it didn't work. So, you know, what we want you guys to understand is we're growing with you. And there are some growing pains, okay? There's some growing pains. One of them was just growth itself, getting to 2021. But look, guys, everyone has been saying, well, you know, let's talk about TRC for a second, okay? Let's talk about TRC for a second. Because, you know, Sean, Michelle, when we started this, you know, we didn't have TRC. And we transitioned into TRC because collectively, the three of us and Prime, who we're powered by, realized that it would be more advantageous to the field, to our business partners, right? And so what we want you, because Sean's alluded to all these changes that are coming over the next week, right? So I gotta hop in on that. Thanks, Sean.
All right.
So TRC is really important, guys, because let me explain to you what TRC really is. Okay, at the end of the day, right now, TRC is a reward for you helping us, yourselves, and Prime get to the end of the rainbow. So we're at the beginning of the rainbow together, and we have this thing called TRC. And you could call it a utility token if you want to, an up and coming crypto if you want to. You can call it whatever you want to call it. But what I'm going to tell you is the bare bones facts is it's a reward point. Okay. Every single one is a reward point. It equals at least $1. It's going to equal more than $1. But here's the really cool news, because everybody says, well, how come we're only getting one TRC a day? Well, let's address that right now. For every CDL that you have completed, you're going to get one TRC per day, okay? One loyalty token, one reward token. Yes, Michelle.
And Chris, that is when they have their city completed and it's all activated. They have their one gateway and then they have their 10. Is that correct?
Thank you. That is correct.
Right. I just want to make sure.
I have a question I want to make sure we ask too.
And I think we need to ask these questions as we go because they're not.
Well, then let's ask. So as these hubs are deployed and there's more hubs in an area and they're receiving more information, is it not also correct that this is just when they start? As their hubs and more hubs in the city collect, they're going to be collecting even more tokens based on the usage, just like they would like they expected in the first place. So it's not just one. It might be one to start while the hubs are being deployed, but as a city grows and
Correct.
there's 50 hubs in a city, then all of a sudden it becomes exponential from the confirmation process that happens with the hub lowering the cost of the network, which is going to actually give them a whole lot more tokens up front. So they start with one, and as they're deployed, then they start earning more. So that's really just at first what they're going to see until the hubs are deployed and operating like they're supposed to. Is that also correct, Chris?
That is correct, Sean. And the funny part about that is, and this is where I jumped in on you earlier and cut you off, and I apologize again. It's just my excitement, but that is for the CDL program only. So that's just that one piece that we were so focused on, was getting the cities lit, right? And so that was just for that one piece. And so some people may have heard me say, hey, we're 6 months ahead on this other piece. So let's go ahead and talk about that, since we're talking about TRC. So guess what you're going to get now, Sean?
What's that?
In your country or your city, when the college or the MIT school or whatever it is, right? When that school goes live and all of those kids go live and all of those faculty go live and all of their families go live all over the world using these services that we're bringing, you're now going to receive TRC rewards in real time for that. Okay, so you're going to see in your back office.
As they're actually using the texting, there's going to be rewards coming into our back office for all these kids using it.
Yes,
which is even more. I have to ask you a question. This extends to our customers, the end customers that are just plugging in a box that didn't want to be it. Aren't they also, as use Prime and introduce people to the Prime chat, and won't their hubs start producing even more as the hubs in the city? All of that still goes too, so they get to have the Prime chat income too, and they get to have the income from the TVs too. Guys, this just keeps getting better and better. My God, I feel like I went to Baskin Robbins with 31 flavors right there. Seriously.
Look, Michelle.
Hey, I want to say one thing. One thing.
Tell me.
We're all going to chat now on Prime One because we're getting paid as well. So let's just not leave it with the college kids. We get paid too.
Right.
Yeah, that's right. I forgot about that because we can start running all of our Zoom meetings on the Prime chat meeting. So we'll be switching from Zooms to start chatting with all of you on the Prime chat Zoom. It's a Prime chat's version of Zoom. But while we're having conversations with each other on a global basis, guess what happens? We get to get paid for having our meetings. Now, what a wonderful thing that is, too.
Prime Chat Conference, exactly. And so here's what I want to tell you guys. One of the things that you can start looking for, because Sean says, hey, look for things to come this week. So let's tell you what they are. One of the things you're going to start looking for in your back office, okay? Now, follow me clearly how to look for this. You're going to go to IoT Basics. You're going to go to the members area. You're going to click on Prime and log in, okay? When you log in, you're going to go to the drop-down dashboard menu for global, okay? Because that's where all of these products and services are going to culminate, and they're all going to come together and nucleotize in one place at PrimeGate Global, okay? And so eventually all of the URLs are going to be a variation of that. So right now what you're going to see is when you log into that dashboard, when the change happens, you're going to see over on the left-hand drop-down menu, you're going to be able to click a button and it's going to say chat. It's going to say TV. It's going to say passport. It's going to say, wait a minute, I'll tell you, devices. Okay. So you're going to see 4 different ways that TRC is going to start coming in, and it's going to be in real time, and it's going to equal up back there. You're going to be able to see it as it's happening daily. Okay. And so some of you say, well, but TRC, what can I do with that? Well, the good news here is you're going to be able to do a broad stroke of things, which we're not going to go into in this call. We don't have enough time. But one of the very things that you may want to do with it, right, is pay for other products and services that we offer at Prime, or turn it into cash at Supreme. Okay. And I would recommend, and this is just a recommendation, I'm not a financial advisor. We always want to preface that, right? I would recommend that you hang on to some of this TRC, guys, because as we increase the usage of this TRC and it takes off, we're already seeing we're 6 months ahead on phase 2. We're 6 months ahead on phase 2. We haven't even really, in Sean and Michelle and I's estimation, we haven't even really tipped the bucket on phase 1 yet. So because of that, you're going to see that in your back office. Now, some of you may say the proof is in the pudding, and we deserve that. We deserve that.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna let something out that I wasn't gonna tell them about, Michelle. I wasn't gonna tell them, and I know it's gonna make your
I wonder
your
if it was
phone
what I
ring
was
off
just
the
about
hook.
to ask.
Okay,
Yeah.
it's gonna make your phone ring off the hook. Look, guys and
Yeah.
gals, there are 2 other ways that we can earn TRC starting now. Now, before I tell you what that is, I want to let you guys know that we started getting paid for chat last week. We started getting paid for TV last week. Now there's a UI piece that's being integrated, so we don't see that in our back office yet, but this week we will, okay? But here's another way that you can prove it to yourself, and I challenge you. Sean challenges you. Michelle challenges you to prove it to yourself. We don't want you to take our word for it, because there's been so many things that we wanted to do that for whatever reason didn't come to the table at the time we wanted it to. But these things are happening. You can prove them to yourselves. So what I want you to do is you're going to be able to blog for your own city. You're going to be able to blog for your own city. So if you're a city developer and you want to prove it to yourself, this is what you're going to do. You're first going to send Michelle a message, okay? And you're going to ask her to have your city turned on. Now, we have to do this manually right now. The automation is coming, but we have to do it manually today and tomorrow and probably
They're
next week.
testing it, right?
Right.
They're still in
So
the
if
testing,
you
right.
want to be part of the beta program that's testing to prove it to yourself, we're going to let you prove it to yourself and blog. We will turn your city on. When your city gets turned on, you're going to be able to write up a small article about a business or about your business coming to your city, IoT of things, right? And I would suggest that you not talk about the school thing until the press release comes out in the next 10 days, okay?
We're already probably
But
in
you
trouble.
can blog. Now, you were sitting there going, Chris, why would we want to do that? That's only going to help you. No, it's going to help you. Watch this. When you publish that blog, you're going to be able to go back to your dashboard. You're going to see that the blog was published, and you're also going to see TRC rewarded to you for that blog post in real time, guys. So prove it to yourself.
That's so you can actually blog, talk about your business, but you can talk about local restaurants, local hotels, or theme parks, or something that's happening in your town. And as people engage, and the more people engage on your blogs using this stuff, guess what happens? More income comes, and you're developing your business in your cities. And you're doing nothing except for writing about what you think about it. And good, bad, or indifferent, just like you would in any other blog. But you're getting paid for it this time.
Michelle, I want you to tell them.
I had a question.
Hey, wait. Before you ask your question, can you tell them what happens when they make their first blog?
They're going to get TRC.
And then
receive
what's behind us? What's behind us that's going to happen for every one blog that they do? What's going to happen?
Oh, are you talking about the other bloggers? We have 10,000 bloggers. That is literally going to be professional bloggers, and because I hate to write, so they're going to be able to do things for us as well, and you get paid for it.
And we don't know what that number is yet, guys. Okay, so we're growing with you. Okay, we're growing with you. We can't tell you if you write one blog, they're going to write 5 for you. But I'm going to use that as an example. Okay. If you write one blog, they might write 5 more. That's 6 for your city. If you write 2, you might get 15. Who knows? We don't know that number yet. We will get those numbers. We'll get that information as we move forward through the rest of this month. Michelle, you had a question. What was that?
Okay. I wanted to bring something up because we started talking about the CDLs and that they receive 1 TRC. And I know what everybody's sitting here thinking right now. well, this is all fine and dandy and this sounds great, but let's talk about the fact that I bought one gateway to Light My City, or I bought the 10, also bought the 11, to Light My City, and they were going to go
Yes.
sell them. So can we go back to that for just a second? Because I think we got ahead of ourselves because we're so excited about all this new stuff as well, because we want them to understand that, you know what, from the very beginning. So let's just say I bought my devices on August the 31st and they went active on September 1st, right? So let's just say I have Franklin, Tennessee, and let's say I bought all 11 of them, right? Now, currently right now, you might be seeing a couple in your back office. You may see one, and that means that your screen and your tipping circle has been tested to see if it is connected. So you may have one in there. We have
Correct.
some people that says I have none in there. So
Correct.
if they have 0 in there, they need to get with their country developer and let them know, or get with somebody that's whoever it is, a CDL holder or something, whoever their leader brought them in. Let
Correct.
them know that you have this so that we can make sure that they are connected. But one thing that we found out this week, right, was since they're doing everything that they're doing with the commissions and stuff, they said, okay, we want to make sure that all of 2020, did you guys hear that? I said the right year. So through December 31st, there's going to be a lump sum that's going to be dropped into their account.
Correct.
Now,
Right.
Sean was talking about that spreadsheet. That's going to be really big for us. So then when they receive their hub, there's going to be another lump sum that's going to go in there. So we want them to understand that yes, you were earning as soon as those hubs went live.
Correct.
So,
Right.
Correct.
At least
Now,
one a day.
quick question. Now that we're all electronic delivery, that's in real time. That will start happening immediate, correct? From now
Yes.
on. So
Yes.
there's no more waiting anymore. So when they start using Prime Chat, they're getting paid that day. When they use the Prime TV to watch TV for free, they're getting paid that day, and they'll be able to go to their back office and see they're getting paid that day. That also works for all of our customers, because at the end of the day, the very first person that matters is the individuals that are not city developers, not country developers, or have anything to do with Prime. There are customers that are home that we're trying to give them extra income to put gas in the car, groceries in the house, to take care of their families, and to share with their friends. They also will be able to go to their back office because they get one too, right? And
Yes,
so as
sir.
they're using the Prime Chat, the TV, and as more hubs in their area have developed, they're going to see additional coins, and they get to take that money. See, that's the core of it. We're taking care of the very first person, every customer. We're then taking care of the city developers with all these revenues, which helps the country developers, which helps Prime. Guys, Prime has put all this in place, and I want everybody to know, again, one last time for me, nobody's going to believe it, all of us and you, until you see this week that all commissions will be paid that were due regardless of the situation or refunds or setbacks, because Prime wants to make sure you understand that you are of value with them. And this is the only way they can prove it to you, is that you never have to go through this again. So let's let Prime show you. Help us to get this information back. Let them show you that those checks go out. They're yours. Go take them. You've earned them. Let's go get you some bigger ones. Let's make sure that you can see where we're hitting the ground properly. But this next week or two is make sure that every single person that Prime Strategies IoT Basics has touched, let's make sure as a group of us that we all make sure that everybody gets their account straight. Let's get this payroll done. Let's get this money to the field. Let's make sure people see the proof. So Chris and Michelle, that they can realize that all of this good stuff that they may not listen to matters to them. They see the money this week and that we're getting it to them. Everything we just said that we're already excited about will matter to them. It will matter to us, because instead of hope, they'll see purpose. They'll see that there's a reason. So anyway,
Correct.
Go ahead, Michelle.
Sean, can somebody address, and I know that this is a question that everybody has out there, I've had it asked to me several times, why was commissions taking so long to get out to everybody? You know, what was
Great
going
question.
on? That
Well,
Sean, you got that one.
well, it's real simple.
I've answered it too many times.
Well, that's okay. Let me just answer it now because it's really the truth.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't any of the country or city developers or anybody's fault. But here's the problem. Prime Strategies came to all of us that are here, some of us that are not here, but this city and country developer licenses that we all have came from a reason. We started with another company. That company was supposed to partner with Prime to deliver this to the world. That was a partnership agreement. That business went away. And when that business went away, legally, Prime Strategies at that point could not pay out because they are Fortune 500 company, 100 and 500 companies, and by law, they have to be attached to another business. Now, that couldn't just be done from me because I was with a company or anybody else to go out and pay. Prime Strategies is delivering the commissions. Prime Strategies is delivering the product and services. So the delivery time, Michelle, and to all of you, the reason that this is important to understand is we had to go make agreements, get qualified, get approved with a quality pay service like Ooh La La, so that we can now get to the point where we can pay you. Now, it's taken us some time. There's been people sick. It's been end of the year. It's been Christmas. It's been New Year. There's been companies gone. There's been KYC issues, even with our own banking with Ooh La La. Lots of issues happens with business, but in the holiday times, it makes it even tougher. So now that these things are being satisfied, Michelle and everybody, they're now legally can pay out, and now they're making sure that we are receiving what we should receive. It wasn't that they didn't want to pay out. This does not help anybody's reputation. This does not help any single one of us from doing anything to help each other or to feel good about what's going on. But they legally could not do it because under federal law, and we are a U.S. company, it could be construed as money laundering if we don't verify that we paid out and it was based on this business process that came from Prime. We had no way to verify that legally. So what they did, instead of partnering with the other company that went away, is they created the sales arm called IoT Basics. They asked Chris, Michelle, and I, for you guys, to lead that out to start gathering and to put this together for you. We're not employees. We do not get paid by Prime. We hold our own city and country developer licenses. There's no favoritism on our part to do better for us than there is for you. I'll explain why. Everything is virtual. Everything goes to the website. We all get paid in the exact same ways. And there's no special salaries or incentives. There's no special contracts. IoT Basics is 100% Prime Strategies. So what they did is they created that arm again to be that so that they could pay us and to bring these products and services. They're doing that because of all of us. They're doing that because all of us as a group of people did better at bringing IoT to the world. So if you remember when I started the conversation out earlier today, they usually go partner with big corporations to get this out, to have this infrastructure in place. Yeah. Because of what we did with no infrastructure and the other company fell away, they created IoT Basics. We helped them. We're here trying to get it done because this is $1 trillion business. This is worth, in my opinion, millions of dollars to any city developer and country developer on an annual basis. That is my opinion. When you do your research about the IoT and you realize that the world is changing to digital, well, then you're going to start understanding we're all in our only business that we could be in that doesn't require all of us to come up with product and services and hard money out of our checkbooks. We now get to actually partner, and we have IoT Basics with Prime that will now pay us for these developer licenses. And go back, Michelle, remember, those developer licenses cost over $40,000 if you were to buy them from one of our competing companies. Some of them are giving away, telling people that they're going to get paid, but there's no money to get them from because people don't realize that when Prime Strategies put those city developer licenses out there, they put a $2 billion fund to make sure that the city developer licenses were paid, that they were receiving revenue every month, and that could happen. Regardless of what everybody else says, They put up $2 billion in a fund to do that. They just recently put billions more up to do what we're doing. So nobody's going to believe all this, Michelle, until they see the payments being made this week. But we could not make these payments until we had a vehicle, a company that was approved to pay it out and to go do that. But there has been some timing issues over the last 60 days with banking trying to get it done. Some on Prime's part, some in just life taking place, or the year ending, or people weren't there at the corporations, whatever. Doesn't matter. We're working really hard with ULA, along with Prime Strategies, to develop a global business, banking the unbanked, getting money to people, and we're allowing people to do this to them. So I hope, in short, to answer your question, we weren't capable of doing it because we didn't have the company structure in place to keep us legally to pay it. Now, guys, some people did get paid, and some people might assume that there might have been favoritism. There wasn't. We sent spreadsheets off. We tried to adapt the problem. But when it was made clear to Prime Strategies that the other company was no longer in business, they had to cease and desist. That was just bad timing. I wish that those first payouts had gone out before all of that was realized, because, you know, I'm greedy. I kind of need the payments like we all do, right? So it's not being greedy. It's just, hold on, we're going to call it hungry. We're all hungry the same way. We all want to have a better Christmas. We all want to have a better New Year's. And the truth is, when we all see that the payments are coming, we'll feel good about what we're doing. We can have that hope. That is now having the process that we can see a purpose in how this is going to benefit our families' lives, and how it becomes residual and growing, just like the college program that was put in place for all of us. And we have 4 countries coming in. We have all of these things coming in. There's so much more coming with announcements, but none of it will mean anything, Michelle, until we work with every country developer and city developer through those country developers, make sure those spreadsheets are done, make sure that the correct invoices that were there at the time can get paid so that we can show them with a payment. And so the only thing I can do now on Prime Strategies' behalf on IoT is give us a little time. Please work with us to get those commission statements, those payments to you that are necessary. So help us to get the KYCs done. If you're not, be kind. Let's all help each other to get that done, and let's go get it done. But in short, Michelle, I apologize for the long-winded
that's okay.
picture. But in short, we didn't have a company to do it, and that's why IoT was also made to do it.
That's
I mean,
the truth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, my camera locked up for a second. I don't know what happened. One other question that I know that I have been asked. Okay, so let's just say that I brought on a CDL holder and they decided that they wanted a refund. Okay, and let's just say that they ended up getting a refund. Okay.
Yes.
I think there's something that's missing that most people don't realize. So, Chris, if I had gotten a refund right now and I decided, I don't know, maybe I see in March that everything's working and everybody's getting paid and everybody's all excited, and I decide, I call you back and I say, hey, Chris, I think I really want to come back on as a CDL holder. I know my city's probably already gone because there was probably already people waiting in line. Now, what would happen at that point if I wanted to come back?
Well, that's a great question. Awesome question. Thank you for asking. You would be allowed to come back, obviously. You know, we understand that people are in different places at different times in their lives, and we want you guys to be able to come back. But here's what we do need everyone to understand. We will do everything we can in our power to get them another city if that's what they want to do. Okay, but they're not going to get it at the half price payback. Okay, so the city license costs. The city license costs $40,000. Prime is on the hook for $40,000 for every single city developer's license. Okay, now we have a advantage, and I know that wasn't proper English, but we have an advantage, right? That they offered us, which was our predecessor's arrangement. Okay, and that was that instead of paying $40,000 back, we would be allowed to strike up an agreement, which we all have a contract for, that if you do the math, we're only paying back half. Okay.
Mhm.
We're only paying back half. And so if you decided you wanted to come back, Michelle, I'd open my arms and say, welcome back, and let's see what city we can get you. But instead of paying the 20, you're going to be on the hook for the 40 for those licenses, because only the ones that are given out in the interim of time
Mhm.
that was prescribed by Prime
Mhm.
will be
Right.
able to do that. Now,
Okay.
here's what I'm going to tell you about that. There's a caveat to that, because I know Sean's sitting there thinking, "Oh, what about if I have James behind Michelle, and James wants to take Michelle's contract?" Well,
Right.
we're not going to say that that's impossible, and we're not going to say that won't happen. What we'll say is we will work with everybody to the best of our ability, but we also want you
Right.
guys to understand this. And as Sean said, we're all in this together. We don't own IoT Basics. We're simply board members, okay? Running it for Prime Strategies, doing it
Mhm.
for them and for you all, more for you guys than anybody else, okay? So what you need to understand is we're building our businesses too. And so if you need something done that we can help you do, we're more than happy to do that. We want to help you guys do that, but sometimes it may not be at the most convenient time, or we may be in the middle of something else, or we might be helping someone else. So you just have to wait your turn, okay? But Michelle, that was a great question. And what I heard Sean say, and I apologize, I had to go off camera for a second. I got a call that I had to take. What I heard Sean say in the short and simple factual statement was that this is a real company. This is a company
Mhm.
that crosses their
Yes.
T's, dots their I's, and it's going to be around for a long time. Guys, we know that we got competition out there. We know there are other companies popping up. We know there are other companies getting their stuff from us and double charging, okay? But what we also know is they're not going to be around 6 months, a year from now. We will be, and our people will be, and our company will be, and we'll be paying. And that's what's taken so long. So on that, the reason I wanted to circle back around to that is because I have Michelle and Sean on here as witnesses and verification to you guys, okay? That what we're telling you is the gospel truth, the best that we know it. It is the truth as of this minute, as of this day. But, Sean mentioned KYCs. Guys, we have the
Mhm.
majority of you all, I'm not going to put a percentage to it because I don't want to embarrass our teams. Okay. I'm just going to be honest. I don't want to embarrass our teams, but the majority of the 1,900 people that are supposed to be getting paid
Mhm.
TRC, they have not done the KYC for Supreme. Now, let me take the blame. Okay. Let me take the heat off. In the beginning, the KYC wasn't working, but we made an announcement many, many, many weeks ago that KYC had been corrected, that the dev team was on top of it, it was working correctly, and that everyone needed to go through it. Did they listen? Did they hear us? No. We
Mhm.
also heard that people feel out of the loop and that we're not communicating. Let me tell you guys something. Sean is on the phone every single day, 12, 14, 16 hours a day. Michelle,
Mhm.
same thing. Chris, same thing. And that's not 5 days a week, that's 7 days a week. Okay.
Mhm.
And we're getting the information to you guys. But guess what? The best place to get your information is in your email, twice a week in your email. And guess what else? Everything that we know that we can tell you is in those. And we update those every single week. We have a lady that is hired to do nothing but that. We pay her out of our own pockets. Out of our own pockets. Prime doesn't pay her. We do, because we don't have time to sit down and
Mhm.
create these elegant emails for you guys. And we pay her to give you business information as well as our news at the moment. Okay. And we'll change it. Instead of news for you, we'll call it news at the moment moving forward. Okay. Because we
Mhm.
want you guys to have the best information, and we want it to come from IoT Basics. So everything in those emails is coming from IoT Basics, just to be clear. But here's the other thing. There's one other KYC that we need to make sure that we're doing. And I'm not busting anybody's chops or anything here. I'm just giving you guys facts, okay? Right now, if Michelle and Sean and I wanted Prime to push the button and pay everybody that's in the Ooh La La system right now, Do you know how many people would get paid today, Sean?
Do not know. I don't know how many people are KYC. I don't know.
I'm going to tell you, not because I want to embarrass anybody, but because I want people to understand the gravity of the seriousness of this problem. Everybody is fussing and raising hell at the three of us to get them paid.
Mm-hmm.
And in reality, right now, as of this minute, we can pay 129 people, and we haven't taken the duplicates out of that.
Uh-oh.
That is not acceptable.
And that's because they're not getting the KYCs done with Oohlala. Is that correct?
Correct. That is correct. Yes, sir. And so, Sean,
Megan,
for the record, before you go any further, because I know you're going to expound on this, and I want you to. So don't forget, because I know what you're thinking right now. Okay. And I want you to go there. But I want to say this, guys. The process is simple. The process is very, very simple. It walks you through. I walked through it 5 times. I had some people that have nothing to do with us or what we're doing walk through it for us to make sure that the steps were connected and to make sure that everything led you to the next step. Look, go to iotbasics.io. Go to the members area. Halfway down the page or at the top, there's a link that you can click. You're going to click that and it's going to say get your card, pre-register for Oohlala now. There's a button, you click it, it asks for information. Why do we do that? Why are there so many steps? Okay, 3 reasons. Sean, don't forget what you were going to say. There's 3 reasons. All right, we're regulated. Okay, we have to do it regulated. We're regulated on both sides, guys. We're regulated on Oohlala side and we're regulated on Prime side. Okay, so there are a few steps. You got to do the steps. You have to be pre-registered for Oohlala system and Prime's merchant account system, which is what you go through to get your card. Okay, both of those systems have to recognize you and you have to be pre-registered. Okay, if you're not pre-registered and you just show up, it's not going to let you do it. All right, and you're not going to get the card. You're not going to get the virtual card. So that's why it's so important. Follow the steps, pre-register. Then at the end of that pre-registration, it's going to take you to Prime's merchant account. You're going to go through Prime's merchant account, use the codes that have been provided over and over and over. We'll be glad to give you those again. We'll put them in Monday's email. Okay. Again, for you guys, use the codes, get your cards ordered. Then you've got to set up that app, and it instructs you to set up the Oohlala app. And on the Oohlala app is where you do your KYC. If your KYC is not done on the Oohlala app, forget it. You're not getting it. Sean?
It can actually be done on a card portal too. But just to make sure we understand, unfortunately, there was quite a few people this last month in the United States, AWS and servers and Cloudflare. A lot of people got hacked, which affected Oohlala's ability. In fact, let me tell you something, just to remind us all. The KYC for Oohlala, unfortunately, was down for 3 days due to this global hack that hit the eastern coast of the United States and parts of the West Coast. And so part of the problems in getting people's KYCs where they were having issues wasn't Prime or IoT Basics, and it was Oohlala getting those features back in place so that we could get it done. So what I would recommend to people do is when they get to that point, download the app, fill in your email, your phone. Your next step after you get that is you're going to verify an email so they know they're talking to you. It's verifiable. And then go to the cardportal.oohlala.io and go do the KYC. So when you log in with your same email and password that you just put on your phone, up on the left-hand side is your profile picture. Click on profile. Go through the profile, fill it out there because it's easier. I can use all 10 hands because I got too big of thumbs. It makes it difficult for me on my phone. But you can do it on your on your laptop, and you're done in like 5 minutes. It's really no big deal. That's the process. If you're having problems with KYCs with Oohlala, please let us know so that we can get with Oscar and Oohlala to get that fixed. Because this week we are aggressively going out to start reaching to every single person we can. We want to get all of these commissions from day one to now paid. We want to get your coins dumped back into your account and get your daily coins coming in. We want to get you paid because at the end of the day, it all starts with all of us getting our pay that was due, regardless of situation. I need you guys to make sure that we got to get that done regardless. No blame, doesn't matter. What matters is that we get everybody their pay. So let's end with that. Let's all try to help each other. Let's get these spreadsheets. Let's enjoy the city developer contracts that'll be coming out again. We got to get people paid in the dump so that we can turn on all the systems and all free flowing. And guys, watch the next 10 days, business days. 10 days, when we say 10 days, means Monday through Friday. Because let me tell you something, corporations of this size, they don't have a staff on Saturday and Sunday. Now, IoT Basics does, because we all work for free, because we're trying to help you so we can take care of our own contracts to take care of this purpose for the things that are important. And I got to tell you, I've said this before in other companies and situations. I don't want you at IoT Basics and Prime and all this stuff because it's exciting. I want you guys personally to do this. And I'm reaching out to you, and I want you to take some time while you're listening to this later about what's important to you. I really want you to realize that what we're giving you, because of Prime, is giving us, all of us, is a way to go take those things that were important to you in the first place. I want that to be what moves you for your purpose, not IoT Basics and Prime and this fantastic stuff we get, that you'll actually start getting to actually have a realization that's true. You don't have to worry about the fears that come in all of us. I want you to think about what's important for you and your family and how we can go fix that. And I want all of us as a team to come together. I want us all to not worry about it. The idea is to take care of each other. The idea is we should be patriots regardless of opinions. We're getting through what we're doing so that we can go take care of our families or ourselves in an individual way to express ourselves. We honor that. And we honor you for taking the time to listen to us and understand. We're here because we are all in the same boat. Prime Strategies is honoring us with the opportunity to do this instead of them going through one of their bigger corporations. I hope that you realize that. But none of this, again, is going to make any care to you until you see all of the commissions coming back to you. So please, let's start on Monday together as a team. Let's make sure we're getting our spreadsheets. Let's make sure we're getting the communication. Let's make sure that we're all doing our best to get with ULA, to get everything we need for our teams so that they can get their pay, even with refunds, Michelle, like we talked before. We're still going to pay the commissions that were due, regardless if some had refunds in those teams, because we want to honor those people. We want them to know that they're valuable. We want them to continue. We want them to come back. We want them to have all these opportunities. This is all we want for all of us. I would implore you, figure out what's important. Use this as a tool when you see that the payments are coming, but please help us to get those to you this week. Right now, let's get these processes in so we can pay you, so we can all have a check, and we can start 2021 much better than all of us started out in 2020. 2020 is clear to me now. I'm glad it's over. So let's move forward. Anyway,
right?
Let's just move forward. So I'm all done with what I need to say today, Chris. And thank you and
Sean.
Michelle for allowing me to be all of us together.
Yeah. Thanks, guys. Hey, it's good to see everybody.
I know, right? And I think that this was really a successful board meeting. It may have felt a little uncomfortable, even to us a little bit, because, at the end of the day, we're not used to this type of platform. Okay. But we're going to improve. We're going to get better. I think it was a great way for us to get the information out. I do believe, I think Michelle and Sean would both agree that sometimes, our intention or our tone is lost in the written word. So we're going to do our best in 2021. Now that we figured out that, we've got a virtual boardroom right here, no matter what we're doing, because as the year progresses, guys, we're going to all be traveling. We're going to all be coming to your cities, helping you guys. We're going to all be doing what's necessary, right, to build our business at IoT Basics. And I'm so excited about it. But this will allow us the platform to be able to meet and be able to update you guys, and you can hear our excitement. You can feel the energy as opposed to reading it. And so Sean, I want to thank you for allowing me to interrupt you, brother. Michelle, I want to thank you for bringing up the tough questions, because without you, and I'm guilty of this, and I want to go on the record before we close. We're closing out, guys, but I want to go on the record to say that I'm guilty oftentimes of thinking that people are inside my head, and I just say something and expect people to just pick up where I am. And I apologize for that, because I'm doing 15 things at one time. I just automatically assume that people know where I am. And when I say something, I automatically think they get it. And I even do this with Sean and Michelle. And they do it with me too, for the record, but I'm worse. I'm the worst at it. Okay. So forgive me for that. If I ever say something or I ever convey something to you guys and you don't get it, please raise your hand or acknowledge and say, hey, Chris, that didn't make any sense. What the hell are you talking about? So we love you guys. Michelle, please close us out with a great ending.
Yeah, well, thanks. Throw it right on me, right?
I love you.
I love you too. And you know what? I think that's the major thing right there. Let's just talk about how much we love everybody. I mean, you guys, I know that you guys have been mad at us. I know that you have cussed us. You've called us all kinds of names. Everybody's been frustrated with us because you felt like our communication wasn't there. Guys, we want you to know that we love you. And that's the whole reason why we stepped up to say, hey, we'll do this. We will take on this bear right now and try to get everything in place, right? And so I just want to say thank you for taking the time and giving us patience and walking with us during this time, because without you guys, we wouldn't be IoT Basics, right? So we truly believe we're all family here, and you know what, guys, we love y'all just like family. So with that, I'm going to say thank you guys for meeting with me on a Saturday, and we will see you guys soon.
Okay.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.